channel, guys. Broken Bobby here. If you are rewatching this live, I suggest you jump forward to, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes in, and we should be up and running. Hope everybody is having a good weekend, or it's off to a good start. I'll give it a moment or two, let a few people get in here, and then we'll get going. Welcome in. Welcome. So, we have some interesting turn of events today with yeah, I agree. Don't know what this is going to lead to, but we've definitely jumped in, it looks like. So, I don't know, the next 72 hours ought to be interesting, I guess I would say. But, anyways, welcome in, guys. Welcome in. Yeah, usually I don't get into, I'm not going to really touch on the politics too much of this, but apparently we went in with the B-2 bombers and dropped some bunker busters today in Iran. And, I've listened to both sides of the arguments for both sides of whether we should or whether we shouldn't, what the ramifications may be if we do. And now I guess we're going to see what happens due to this strike on the Iranian nuclear facilities. So some of the things I've heard that could come from this is, they could block the Strait of, I think it's called Hormuz, where a lot of the oil and stuff passes through. That could definitely lead to some inflation if that were to happen. Gas prices obviously will go up. Gas prices go up for everything, but living in California, we're no stranger to that. But yeah, I don't what's up, Presley Parker? Let's see. Ezekiel says, my uncle ain't scared of what Iran is going to do. He's scared of that when Joe Biden let all those people in there, he did my uncle. Yeah, and that's a good point. What's up, Presley Parker? Shout out to you. Now it's drafting for the war. Did you hear it? No, I haven't heard anything about that. But we have, recruitment's gone up with the military recently. So I honestly, I don't see that happening. And technically speaking, we're not in a war at the moment. We did do some things that are considered war type things, but there's no boots on the ground or anything like that at this point. And I hope that they don't put boots on the ground. Yeah, I'm not sure about that, Travis. I know a lot of things will exclude you from getting drafted, but if he's an only son, yes, as far as I know, yes, that is true. They don't want to end a bloodline by drafting somebody, but I don't see a draft coming from this. I really don't. Who knows what's going to happen? Yeah, definitely appreciate all of our soldiers. The thing is, we've done strikes like this in the past. There was one I believe it was in Afghanistan under the last Trump administration, and it was like a one and done thing. And this could be that as well. I mean, if Iran decides to strike military installations in the region, obviously that's going to further escalate things. But, right now, I think it's just wait and see on that. Um, like I was talking to my son a little while ago, and I said the next 72 hours ought to be interesting. I think if Iran does have a bomb, we're about to find out. I mean, not in the U.S. mainland, but I messed up. But if a draft does happen, I'm not doing it. Yeah, I don't see that happening. Not anytime soon. Shit would really have to hit the fan in order for something like that to happen. And like we have a military force, including reserves of in the millions. This is just Iran. Not to take anything away from them, but honestly, I don't see boots landing on the ground there. At least I hope they don't. But yeah, I'm honestly I don't see it happening. We'll see what happens. Like I said, the next 72 hours ought to be interesting. If they do have a bomb, like a big bomb, uh, you know, those things tend to start flying when people feel like there's no other way out. Um, so we'll see what happens. But I'm not gonna overly stress on something that I have no control on. Uh, you know, they didn't call me and ask me what I thought, and I'm glad they didn't because that's not a decision. I'm a truck driver. Uh, that's what I do. But yeah, I don't see a draft happening. And that's Travis says, I'm sure there's some sleeper cells over here. That's the bigger concern, in my opinion, is that a lot of people came across that southern border during the last administration, and we don't know who a lot of those people are. And there was that one guy at the border when he said, "You don't know who I am now, but you will know soon enough." That's concerning. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, but they went in and dropped a bunch of bunker busters today, and I watch the news and I try to watch the different news outlets to get the different angles on things. And I think when you watch the news, you got to critically think because everybody's got their angle, and one side saying, "Oh yeah, this is a great thing, it's perfect," and then the other side is saying, "Well, this and that could happen because of it," and that's kind of my way of thinking, Herb 916 says, "What's done is done. There will be a reaction in some format. China gets its oil with Iran. They may feel a certain type of way." Yeah, and I mean that's the bigger concern. Obviously, is China and Russia backing Iran, but I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see what happens, I guess. Some radical with no affiliation with Iran could see this as an absolutely, Travis. I agree. If there were sleeper cells, yeah, I believe there probably are. There probably are sleeper cells in the U.S. right now. So I mean, to me, that's the bigger concern. I don't see Iran striking our mainland. I don't think they have the technology to get a bomb that far, honestly. But there are a lot of soldiers that are in the Middle East, and yeah, and I agree, Herb. I think it's like a lot of these countries, like it's the government that the governments that have issues with each other and then the people suffer because of it. I think uh, for the for the vast majority, Iranian people are great people. Um, it's the government that our government and other governments have an issue with, and the nuclear thing. I mean, Iran is a state sponsor of terror, the biggest state sponsor of terror. The regime there, though, and I don't know if they talk about regime changes and all this stuff. I don't know if that's even a good idea because they took out Saddam Hussein in Iraq, and then what happened? The Taliban came in. So you know, I'm just glad that I do what I do for a living, and I don't have to make these types of decisions. Because they're I don't think they're easily made. And wrong decision could cost a lot of people their lives. So yeah, exactly. There was a movie called Charlie Wilson's War. Uh, I seen that movie like about 20 years ago, and man, like it really gave some insight into like we backed Afghanistan against Russia, and when Russia retreated, all of a sudden we just cut the budget to those guys and wouldn't build no schools, wouldn't help educate people, and that was the birth of the Taliban, basically, Al Qaeda. So, you know, that's what it was, and I don't know. I don't know how this one's going to turn out, but I think I think I'm a very optimistic person. I'm sure everything will be all right in the end. So, anyways, how's everybody's weekend going? I was supposed to go to work tonight, and I got canceled at the last minute. It was going to be an extra day. Yeah, we did, Travis. We left him high and dry. Saddam was evil in his ways, but he was needed. Yeah. And after, I mean, Iraq and Iran were so busy being at each other's throats that once you took Saddam out, then Iran started focusing on other things. And I'm no political scientist. I'm no expert in this stuff. Yeah, he sure did, Nitro Bob. And just being out and about, going to the market and stuff, I heard people talking about it and like excitement in some people. Like hell yeah, Trump bombed the hell out of those guys. And I'm thinking, do you? Yeah, I was supposed to work today, but I got canceled at the last minute. They shut down the neighboring facility, so we had extra people to work. So I ended up on the short end of the stick. So it's all good though. But man, I lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? Oh, they're saying we need to stock up on water because they're going to go after our water towers. I that's you know the power grid is like the big one. Um, if the power grid goes down, like everything that people don't realize, yeah, and how important the power grid is. Like people will die if the power grid goes down because some people are on medical equipment and stuff like that. Uh, it's just nasty. And yeah, people like the dude in the Dollar Tree was like, "Fuck yeah, we went in there and bombed the hell out of those guys." And I'm like, "Yeah, but if they um, if they block the the Strait of Hormuz, I think it's called, then oil prices are going to shoot through the roof." Uh, yeah, and Herb 916 says shut off power and water, people would destroy them. Absolutely, I completely agree. Completely agree. So, anyways, yeah, it ought to be interesting. Like I said, no phones exactly, man. You won't be able to catch your broken Bobby transformation live. That would be the least of everybody's worries, though, to be honest, if that were to happen. And you know, have I heard about the U.S. bombing Iran? I think is what you meant there. Yeah, they went in and dropped those bunker busters today. And I was watching the news, and Trump was talking, and no matter who the president is, I respect the position, and I do my best to support what's going on, but Trump was on there talking about a highly successful military action. I'm talking to my son, and I'm thinking, would he come on and say, well, we screwed that one up? Not to say that it wasn't a successful military action today, but, like, you got to critically think when you're watching the news and hearing the news reported, because you I don't know. I want to see images of what happened. I'm sure there's satellite images that will be presented in the coming days of the area where they dropped them bombs, and we'll see what happened, I guess. So ultimately, this channel is about sobriety and recovery. I do talk about current events and stuff from time to time, which is what we're doing tonight. But yeah, that's ultimately what this channel is for. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe and do me a favor and hit that like button. It helps to increase the algorithm, and get the message out. Travis says, hope no civilians killed. Yes, I completely agree with you there. Ultimately, like, it's funny because I talk about how, people that are Americans are don't realize how good they have it a lot of times, when I hear people complaining about stuff and whatnot, like, sometimes I think, man, like, you don't, like, I've been following, I don't think I did Ezekiel. Let me see here. If it failed, LOL, I would wonder what he would have said. That, yeah, and that's the point I'm making. Like, man, I keep about the no civilians killed. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, hopefully, they hit the strategical marks and were successful. The thing is, we're, for those of us that are in America, like Travis says, lucky to be American. Yeah, like, I've been following this Israel-Iran conflict now since it started, pretty much. And one of the YouTube channels I follow, he talks about, there's missile alerts, and people are scurrying to get into their bomb shelters, their local bomb shelters. And the closest thing that I can relate to with that was, like, when I was a kid in the early 80s, in the late 70s, we had these air horns that were strategically placed, and they would do a test once a month, and it was just an air horn going off, and that was from the Cold War era with Russia, and if I guess the general idea, like, I was just a little kid, so but the general idea was to take shelter. Like, we don't have bomb shelters here. We don't have any idea what that's like. And that's why I say we're so blessed to live here in America, and not be like in Israel and Iran and places like that. Like, that's a normal occurrence for them for the missile alerts, and to go get in your safe place, basically. Like, can you imagine? Like, I'm over here stressing on, if I can get some new floor mats for my Camry, you know what I mean? And those people over there are stressing on there's incoming intercontinental ballistic missiles that can devastate city blocks. I mean, geez. What's up, KK? How you doing tonight? So yeah, that's kind of my take on what's going on over there. I hope this is just a one and done, and that we're not going to be drawn into some big thing, and that they're going to block the passageway for all the products that come to America. We're just getting over really bad inflation. Things are finally starting to calm down a little bit, and have a few bucks left in the account after payday, after all the bills are paid and stuff. So I don't want that to go away, but at the same time, I don't want a nuclear bomb shot at my country either. You know what I mean? So I do, I support what they're doing. I just hope that they're making the right decisions. Let me see. Let me double check that. Now I'm on all messages. Why? What? Are you seeing something I'm not, or what? Big E? Yeah, I think I'm seeing everything. So yeah, I hope everybody's having a good weekend. I remember going through all the concrete bunkers in Stinson Beach out by San Francisco, thinking that we weren't as safe as we thought about countries being able to touch us. Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, like with these hypersonic missiles that some of the major powers have now, like, I mean, I have a friend who's military, and he says, we have a really good defense system. So if missiles were fired on us, we'd be able to knock most of them down. But I guess I didn't see it. Ezekiel. About proud to be an American. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, anyways, yeah, that's kind of my take on it. God bless all those people in the Middle East. I hope that no civilians were injured in this latest round of attacks. I imagine Iran's gonna, Trump said now's the time for peace talks. I don't know if Iran's gonna be down with that or not, but I guess we'll find out. I mean, how spoiled are we? Like, I'm just ready for football season to start. And over there they got air raid sirens going on. And they're getting into bunkers and shit. I mean, man. So Ezekiel says, "You will respect my authority." Yeah, I don't know, Nitro Bob. Where's Joel at tonight? The other mod. Let's get it going. Let's give a shout out to the mods real quick. We got Ramona, we got Cora, we got Q, we got Ezekiel, and we got Joel now. Shout out to all of you guys for making the magic happen and keeping the chat clean. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys and what you do for the channel. So Hector says, "What's up, Bobby? I relapsed after 2 years clean. I have 3 months clean now. Hopefully I can keep clean this time." Absolutely. I'm sorry to hear about your relapse, Hector, but I'm glad to see that you jumped back on the horse. I always looked at relapses as it's an opportunity to not make the same mistake twice. You know what I mean? And definitely congrats on the 3 months. Like that's awesome. That's good stuff. Um, I think for some of us, like people like me, like I took every angle to not be clean, and then when they all ran their course, then finally, like I waved the white flag and said, all right, fine, I'm done. But I got off the crystal, said, well, I'll just drink. You know what I mean? Like, let me find an alternative to with some mind altering substance to where I don't have to deal with reality. Um, and eventually, like learned enough from the relapses that I was able to pull it all together. Nitro Bob says, so what do you think the rest of the year is going to be like? Hopefully peaceful, man. Hopefully, I guess Trump's saying for Iran to come and talk peace. Hopefully they do that and we can just move on from this stuff. You know what I mean? Ezekiel says, Bobby, the first time I saw Joel in the chat, I thought it was my friend named Joel Glass, but the next day I asked my friend and he said it wasn't him. My friend is 16, so I thought he came in to be dumb. Oh, wow. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, hopefully the rest of the year is going to be peaceful. They're going to put an end to this stuff, and somehow I don't think that's going to be the case, though. My biggest concern is these sleeper cells that allegedly are here already. And, terrorism, basically, Nitro Bob says, drinking sucks. I have dreams. I look for alcohol. Damn. Yeah. And it was that way for me for a while, too. Like I'd have using dreams where, I was using or getting ready to use, and like I'd wake up in like a cold sweat. Yeah, exactly. It's like your mind goes there, and yeah, man, it's bad. I remember speaking of dreams, I was in West Valley Detention Center in San Bernardino. I was in on I think that was the false pretenses to obtain cash. It was bank fraud, basically. And I was doing empty envelope deposits on the ATMs. And, they finally got me, and I'm sitting in the county. And I had this dream. This was a weird one. And basically I'm at that point, I'm also on probation in Riverside and Los Angeles County, so I know I'm not going to be out anytime soon. And I had this dream that I was walking with my wife and we were going to the liquor store down the street. And man, I woke up and it's like I had that moment of freedom in my head. And when I woke up and I looked around, I seen everybody in orange jumpsuits, and where I was, like, man, low key, like I wanted to cry. Like that was devastating. But do I have milk in my cup? No. You know what's in the cup. Biggie. You already know. So, yeah, so Middle East is crazy. Stuff's been ongoing for decades, It's just flaring up right now, and honestly, I think it'll stay there. I don't think I think it's what's on your if you're got something heavy on your mind before you go to sleep and you fall into a deep sleep, I think that's just my opinion. I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm no expert. You know what I mean? You ever have the falling dreams? I have. Yes. They say that that's a sign of insecurity. I don't know. Or a cold glass of milk right now. LOL. Could you go out and get some milk? Make sure to come back this time. I got milk earlier when we were at the store. Yeah, so what's everybody up to this on this fine Saturday evening? Everybody glued to the TV watching what's going on over there in the Middle East, or are we going about our lives? Are we not really too concerned? Drop a comment and let me know. Damn. So is there trust issues with the buddy, Natural Bob? Is that what it is? What's up, Formula Gaming? I remember you. How you doing tonight? Yeah, I haven't had a dream in a while. I don't sleep very well, though, to be honest with you. Um, yeah, it's been a while since I've had a decent dream. Hey, shout out to India. Appreciate you. All them, I'm on my way. On my own now. Brothers are nothing. I don't know what that means, Nitro Bob. All on my own. Oh, okay, I got you. All right. In India, it's morning. Okay. You're not too far away from all that stuff that's going on, huh? 9:54 a.m. there. Wow. Yeah, I think it's let's see what time it is. It's 9:24 Pacific Standard Time. I woke up from one and it felt like I was in the car and someone was driving fast over a hill. Damn. Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you. You know, and sometimes with the family, like I had to cut a lot of my family off when I got clean, you know? I'm in Southern California, Formula Gaming. I'm in buildings in my dreams, always end up falling. Oh no. Trying to get to the top, I guess, huh? But just, man, that sucks. You know what? I think I'm going to go refill the coffee real quick. Give me just a minute. Ezekiel, why don't you give him some elevator music or something? It's a good time to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. Give me about a minute or so. I'm going to refill the coffee. I'll be right back. Step on me, go. All right, my bad, folks. I like the elevator music, Ezekiel. Let's see what we missed here. Got some. This girl is on fire. Damn. Hey, Ezekiel, did the Browns really cut Shadur Sanders? I've seen something about that on my feed this morning. I was wondering if you know anything about that. All right, let's see. Yeah, I seen that on my feed this morning. I don't know if there's any truth to it or not, but I heard that he got 2 speeding tickets already. The last one was 102 and a 60. And it said that they're just tired of the shenanigans already. So, yeah, I was just wondering if there's any truth to that. Hey, what's up, Ranak? How are you? Hope you're doing well. So, what are you guys' thoughts on? You're gonna boycott the Browns? I don't know. I'm not 100% sure on that. I didn't do any digging on it because it's not my team. What's your question, Ranak? Well, we're talking football, though. You like the hat? 2012 NFC champions. That was the dreadful Super Bowl with the Baltimore Ravens. My son got me the hat for Father's Day. Shout out to Jake. I appreciate it. Oh, it's coffee, Ranak. Just coffee. So what is everybody's thoughts on what's going on over there with us going in and dropping some bombs on those nuclear facilities? You guys think it was a good move? Do you think it was a bad move? Do you care? Do you think there's going to be any blowback to the U.S. on this? What are your guys' thoughts? I know what the news channels are saying, but there's so much spin on that shit. You know, it's hard to tell what's what. Appreciate that, Formula Gaming. Says W in the chat for Bobby. I wish the world would blow itself. So I don't care, says Nitro Bob. Can I sing a song for you? I don't have much of a voice. Maybe when I was still drinking, I would break out the mic and do some karaoke for you, but in a sober state of mind, yeah, I don't think it's happening. Oh, okay. It's only a matter of time, though, Ezekiel. It's only a matter of time. I think with him, he's got a certain sense of entitlement because of who his father is, and he thinks he knows more than the executives do that are paying his salary. You know what I mean? So hopefully you got a name for these. What's the name? Coffee and Bobby. Yep. I like it. I like it. He got pulled over. I'm low-key confused. Yeah, I read that he's had 2 speeding tickets already since he joined the Browns, and the last one was 102 miles an hour in a 60 zone. I don't know if he was arrested or what, but yeah, that's not good. I mean, we all know. Well, Henry Ruggs, he was a promising receiver for the Raiders, and he ended up on a vehicular manslaughter. He just got released from prison like 4 years later. Ruined his career, you know? He was doing like 150 and rear-ended somebody and killed some lady and her dog. Poor dog. I mean, poor lady too, but like, I don't know. Formula Gaming says, hey man, I think I saw you somewhere. Have you been in Southern California lately? That's where you would see me. Favorite food? My wife makes these bomb-ass burritos. They're refried beans and like chunks of steak meat with all the fixings. Oh my god, amazing. Yes, sir. I had a trip to Southern California. Yeah, you did see me. Actually, I got a story for you guys. I was going to work the other day. This is the crazy Cholo story, all right? I was going to work the other day. I'm heading down the Cone Pass. I'm almost at the bottom, coming into Fontana. Yeah, could possibly have been Formula Gaming. So I'm heading down into Fontana in kind of heavy traffic. We're doing 40 or so, but there's a lot of cars. And I got this Nissan Altima, that's kind of on my ass. Not excessively, but, looking back, like, when people ride my ass, I just slow down a little bit. You can go around. There's more lanes, buddy. Select one, you know what I mean? So, all of a sudden, dude comes around on my left, and, I'm giving him a chance to go ahead and get on by me. $1 in my account so they don't close. Yeah, I hear you, bro. Ezekiel. So I'm going to let him get by me, right? And I notice he's kind of pacing me, right? So I look over to see what this fool's doing. He rolled the window down, bald-headed Cholo. He looks at me and gives me one of these, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what was that for? I don't know if you guys remember. Then he speeds off and like cuts off an Explorer, almost causes a wreck, and I'm like, what the hell? So, like, everything just happened really quick, but it kind of reminded me, there was a viral video a while back where it's like four guys in the car, and this car pulls up next to the car that they're recording in, and this guy yells at in the back seat. He's like, what was that for, you fat piece of bacon? And it's like a chunky guy sitting in the back seat, and he's like, what did I do? Like, that's what I felt like, bro, like, what are you tripping on, Like, you think you want to road rage, but you don't. Like, what are you doing? Come on now. The YouTube tech department says, urgent notice, your account has been flagged for, wait a minute, where the hell did it go? Is it gone? Where did it go? I guess it got, yeah, I was about to roast him. YouTube tech support, come on now, knock it off. Okay, good. Thank you, Cora. Don't be spamming the chat, damn it. There's people that got real things to say. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be on tomorrow because it's my granddaughter Toya's birthday. Happy birthday, Toya, if you're watching this with Mommy right now. We're going to be over there tomorrow, so probably won't be on live. What's up, G Money? How you doing, brother? It has been a while. I hope you're doing well, bro. Man, I've been sticking and moving, Do a little bit of Amazon Flex on the weekends. Been picking up extra days at work. Man, I'm trying to get that money, bro. Hope you're doing well, though. She heard you and smiled and said, "Thank you, Papa. I love you, baby girl." Huh. More than likely, yes, Ezekiel. I think the party starts at like 3:30. I imagine I won't be home until late. So, uh, but she's turning 3, right, Cora? Man, the grandbabies are growing up so fast. It's a trip. Appreciate you, G Money. Yeah, she'll be 3. So, man, they grow up so fast. It's kind of like life, you know. If you blink, you're gonna miss something, you know. So, um, we gotta stay in the moment, take advantage of all the opportunities that come our way, because you never know when it's gonna be over. And with all the stuff going on in the Middle East, like I said, I don't think anything's gonna, as far as Iran trying to attack us through missiles or anything, but they're a big sponsor of terror, and yep. And then Luca will be 2 in August. Wow. And it looks like Big E's little cousin turned 8 on Friday. Shout out to your little cousin. Happy birthday. And man, Luca's going to be 2 already. Wow. I'm feeling old over here. Doing the crystals like putting life on... man, right? I'm telling you, bro. Like 1989 to 2004 is all kind of a blur. That was, that was my time when I was doing that stuff, So, man, it's definitely a great time to get clean if you're thinking about it. I'll tell you guys. You'd be surprised at how much stuff you miss while you're out there in your addiction, And right? Exactly, G Money. Who's high, PBX? No, Lord. With a name like that, yeah, you couldn't be a troll. That is a new hat. Jacob got me that for Father's Day. It's the 2012 NFC Championship hat, and I love it. It's fitted, but it's like the loose fitted, which I love. So I'm gonna have to start collecting all the NFC Championship hats, but my team is so good that I'd have to be a wealthy man to be able to afford all those. Bang Bang Niner Gang. Oh man. So, anyways, what are we at? We're at like 48 minutes. I sound high? What am I high on? Because my drug of choice was meth. And I haven't touched that since 2004. 7. 210. Yeah. Weed. Nah, man, I never even liked weed, bro. Weed was never my thing. I smoked it for a while. At one point I was selling quite a bit of it, and I smoked it just because I'm from the Inland Empire, PBX, SoCal. Yeah, I would smoke a little bit here and there just to every time I'd get a new pound in, I would smoke one just to make sure everything was legit, you know what I mean? But like weed always made me feel stupid. Weed was not my drug of choice by a long shot. But I know a lot of people who love it, and it's legal now, so used to smoke weed just to take the edge off meth. Yeah. I would do that on occasion, or maybe drink a tall can or something. Like for a long time, I didn't really drink. Um, I was just on my crystal basically. But you know, we would pop a volume or something to take the edge off to try to get some sleep. You know what I mean? You didn't hear me the first time, PBX. Where are you from, homie? Are you gang banging on me, homie? I never gang bang, homie. If that's what you're asking, I never claimed the neighborhood. And thank you very much for the super chat, PBX. I appreciate that. Yeah, no, I got family from the west side in San Bernardino, but you better check in, homie. I don't know. Does PBX say it all or what? I don't know. You're from Australia. Well, good day, mate. I'm just clowning, bro. I'm glad you. Shout out to Australia, man. I appreciate you tapping in. Yeah, I never participated in the gang activities. I mean, not as a member, anyways, but Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. uh, hey, Bobby, this might be a stupid question, but how many jobs did you have before you were locked up, or did you locked up before? No, I had jobs prior to that. I started working. My first job, I was like 13, maybe. Legit payroll job, anyways. You know what I mean? They used to have a summer program where if your grades were good, you could get a summer job through the school district. And I did that. I worked at City Hall. I was a file clerk. Um, I worked at the City Cultural Center, checking out like athletic equipment for the different Parks and Rec facilities in the city. Worked at Chuck E. Cheese. Did a bunch of stuff. Um, and then I came to the conclusion that I felt like a sucker working for everybody else. So I got a sack and started slanging that and started. But in reality, I was still working for somebody else because the guy 2 steps above me was the one making all the money. In reality, you know what I mean? But I would work my way up in the drug circles, if you will, and I last few years I made some pretty decent money, but unfortunately I had a habit that ate up most of that money. So I'm going the same thing you did when you were 13, but my high school, it doesn't matter if you have good grades or not. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. I don't know if they still do that here in California or not. They used to though. This was back, man. This was like the mid to late '80s. Hell, when I was 11, I lived in Carmelitas in Long Beach, housing projects, and me and some of the little homies, we went and sold flowers. Like you typically see the Pisces do now on the freeway exits and stuff like that. And we did that. I did that for a little bit. Um, some days you make halfway decent money, and other days not really. So I ended up quitting that. But that honestly, that was the first job I ever had, and that was all right. But yeah, eventually the streets were calling and I answered, so how or where did you get the flowers? There was a guy that like they would come pick us up in a van, like a old Ford Econoline type of van, and they would have all the buckets of flowers, and they would drop us off on different off ramps, and they would give us like the spiel, if the cops roll up, what to tell them about if we had permits to do that or not. You know what I mean? Like, I was a sophomore in his 14 years ago, and one of my friends had a part-time job, and when her grades slipped, she was fired. Is it no longer required to have good grades to have a job? He's in Ohio, Cora. So I don't know. Like everything is local government runs everything basically when it comes to stuff like that, and the school districts. So maybe it's different there than it was here. Yep. If you guys are new here, be sure to subscribe, hit that like button, do all that stuff to help support the channel. I'll try to get some more content out to you guys this week. Maybe I'll drop step 11. I don't know. We'll see. But it's weekend's going to be pretty busy. So, yeah, I'm not sure how much time I'm going to have to do all that, but we'll see. I'll do my best to get something out. No, sir. It wasn't that one, Ezekiel. All right, guys. Well, don't seem like we're getting much traction this evening. People are probably glued to the news channels trying to see what's going on over there in the Middle East. So I think I'm going to cut the string a little early tonight on this one. We're almost at an hour. We'll see how things goes. Who knows? Maybe I'll jump back on and do another one. And we'll see if we can get a little more traction here in a little bit. I think I'm going to go inside, have something to eat. And, you know, if I'm bored, maybe in about an hour I'll jump back on and we'll do another one. We'll see. I'll charge up the phone as well. If anybody has any last minute questions, feel free to drop them right now. And we're going to be wrapping up in the next few minutes. So, what do you got? Oh man, Joel just popped into the house. What's up, Joel? How you doing, Joel? Everything good? Joel saved the day. Oh man, I put the cigarettes in my pocket. I was ready to walk out. I guess we'll go for just a couple more minutes. Like I said, if we'll see what's going on. Maybe I'll jump back on and we'll do another one in a little bit. But now I can't end it. Oh, I can. Let's see if we can get a few more people in here in the next few minutes. And if not, then we'll end it. Maybe we'll jump back on again in a little bit. We'll see. How's the baby doing, Joel? And how are you also? I'm doing good. I won't be able to make your live later. I'm working graveyard tonight. Oh, wow. You be safe out there, bro. Definitely. I think having little ones teaches you how to work graveyard because your sleeping patterns get all tweaked out. About the babies and never about the people who made them anymore. Well, I think, oops, I just kicked this down, my bad. Oh, that's right. That's good stuff. Definitely. And as far as it's always about the babies can't take care of themselves. We can. You know what I mean? And the babies are still innocent and precious. So that's why they get more love than we do. But yeah, that's good to hear, bro. I'm glad to hear that. What I meant to say was you can end the stream, but I know you won't because you love Joel too much. I love all of you guys. Come on now. We got a little sibling rivalry going on there, or what? Who's the favorite mod? Welcome in. Oh boy. So what do you guys? What are your thoughts, Joel, on what's going on in the Middle East? My recovery is going well, thank you, Crystal. I am on August the 9th. It'll be 21 years. So maybe if I'm not working, we'll do a special live for that one to celebrate. And we'll do shots of coffee. What do you think, guys? I'll say this. You're all my favorites. How about that, Joel? So you're my favorite. Ezekiel's my favorite. Cora's my favorite. Ramona's my favorite. Jacob. Q. Don't forget Q. All right, well, like I said, if there's any last minute questions, go ahead and drop them now. Be sure to subscribe if you are new. I appreciate that. We've made it past 2,900 and then it kind of stalled. I think that might be due to the fact that I'm not putting a lot of pre-recorded content out. Just been really busy, guys. You know, try to get some stuff out, but I don't want to just put content out just to put content out. I want to try to have decent quality content for the subscribers, you know? So, anyways. All right, I want to give a shout out to PBX for the super chat. I truly appreciate that. Remember, guys, it's all about the company that you keep. You know, if you're in a group of 5 and the other 4 are aircraft fighter pilots, chances are that's what you are. You know what I mean? If the other 4 are shooting dope, chances are, you know what I mean? So choose your company wisely. If the people around you aren't helping to promote you as well as themselves to be better, then chances are you're hanging around the wrong folks, you know? I seen a video, I think it was on TikTok, and it was one of those courtroom ones where you know, the judge and then the defendant's in the courtroom, and the defendant said, well, I was hanging around the wrong crowd. And the judge made a really good point in saying if I asked all your friends, they'd probably say that they were hanging around the wrong crowd too, right? So don't blame your circumstances on others. Change your circumstances and make them better. You know, we're blessed to live in the greatest country in the world, in my opinion. Opportunities are abundant. And if you're not winning, it's because you choose not to. That's my take on it, you know? So, you know, if you really want a Ferrari in the driveway, you'll find a way to get one. You know what I mean? If you want a bigger house, you'll find a way to get one. There's so many opportunities. If you want to get sober, you'll find a way to do it. You know, I mean, I have this saying when people complain about work where I work, you know, a van didn't come out there and kidnap you and make you come here. You chose to come here. Just like, you know, a van doesn't come and kidnap you and take you and make you use. It's the choices that we make, right? And if you want something better, you need to make it better. You know, nobody's gonna come and wave a magic wand and everything's all of a sudden gonna change. You have to make it change. So yeah, that's my message for the night. Like I said, if I get bored in a little bit, maybe I'll jump back on and we'll run it back. But I think we're gonna leave it there. So family, fitness, and freedom are the things that allow me to get my life together, and they can help you as well. And don't look at the mountain, just start climbing. Have a good one, guys. Maybe I'll be back on in a little bit. Keep an eye out for that, all right? Appreciate you guys. Oh, and shout out to PBX for the super chat.